Well, no charges will be filed against the animal control officer accused of beating a dog, Dioji, leaving her with only one eye.
We first told you about the results of this investigation yesterday, but now we're following up with animal control to ask the tough questions. Tim Becker went to a news conference this afternoon to find out why that officer won't be disciplined. Tim?
Yeah, Kelly, Hillsborough police investigated this case for 10 days, and then they passed their findings along to the district attorney's office. The district attorney says there's simply not enough evidence to prove the actions of Officer Hoyt's step were not justified, that he did not use excessive force. So I wanted to know exactly what is their definition of excessive force.
I am convinced that the responding officer followed a reasonable course of action.
Animal control officials say they will abide by the findings of a police investigation. They relived their account of what happened the day Dioji suffered a fractured skull, hurt shoulder, and damaged eye that eventually needed to be removed. They say Dioji and another dog were going after Officer Stepp.
Following his training, created a barrier between himself and the dogs, backing up and yelling at the dogs to go home, giving them verbal commands, creating a barrier, and backing up. That did not deter the dogs. Officer Stepp got to this point, the dogs were right on him, full aggressive attack, and at that point, Officer Stepp struck Dioji one time to avoid being bitten.
We had an eye removed and a cracked skull and shoulder damage. How can those three body parts be in one blow?
Dioji's owner and others protesting outside today's press conference still believe the officer used too much force. Officer Stepp's supervisor tells me otherwise.
You're saying excessive force wasn't used?
Excessive force was not used in this incident.
Does your department have a policy on excessive force, a way to measure it, a way to define it?
Our policy regarding the actions of officers is based on the training that they receive.
They say officers are allowed to use adequate force to control a situation.
So I think you need to understand that these are dangerous situations which the officers are put in.
I also asked why not maybe use pepper spray instead of a bite stick. That might have resulted in less injury to Dioji, and well, they told me that pepper spray is unpredictable and not an effective tool in this kind of situation when you have two aggressive dogs. Meantime, Dioji's owner vows to keep after this. He says this is not over, and we're going to continue to stay on this story and let you know what move, if any, he makes next. Reporting live in Hillsborough, Tim Becker, KOIN 6 News.
All right.